Brees. He's struggling a bit, so we'll see how he goes this week. ABT, another one that we're hopeful, but we don't know as of today. And Hassan has got a little bit of an illness. Other than that, Sauce, he's going to go. Yep.
How's Herb Charles?
Not good. He'll be put on IR here shortly. Yeah, unfortunately. And what in a very, tough, challenging year in a lot of ways, an absolute bright spot for this team. A guy that's emerged that's, I really believe had he finished the season playing the way he was playing, he would have been a shoo-in for Pro Bowl as far as the special team players concerned, the core players. So he took amazing jumps and leaps and bounds as far as his contribution for us, and excited about his future, and just so unfortunate that the knee happened as it did. I thought it was amazing the way that you felt the sideline too with an injury like that. You just felt the love and regard this team has for him, and what he's meant to this team. As they were shook when he got hurt.
And ACL.
ACL, yeah.
How much of an impact do you think his injury had on that long return at the end of the game that set them up for the game-tying field goal?
Yeah, I mean, you'd always say your best cover guys, you want them out there in those critical moments, So to say he could have been the difference, maybe, who knows?
We're just revisiting that, about the minute left.
Yep.
Right. When you look at that, the time management, is there anything that you wish you guys did differently in that?
Yeah, so the 2-minute mark hit. We hit Lazard. We got it down to 120. At that point, it's unfortunate we lost yardage on the run play, and then the next play was very similar from the. Not to bring up a bad reference, but the Marshawn Lynch play, as far as run was called, they came out in essentially goal line defense, which would have provided probably another negative run, so a can to a pass play, and unfortunately you get sacked there, which in hindsight's 2020, just like the Super Bowl was for the Seahawks and Pete Carroll, like you would have said, kick the 50-yarder and take what we can get on that run play. We didn't. He took the sack. And in those 4-minute opportunities, just you don't want to throw the ball away. That's a huge one in 4-minute football. Like, you'll always take the sack, but just understanding where you're on the field right there, and just creating a difficult field goal at that point. And then you get the ball to Tay, and great throw, catch, the whole thing, and they did a good job of carrying him out of bounds at that point. But had we done it, had we not lost the play on the second play. It would have set us up to just run the ball there. I think we would have been close to under 20 seconds had that happened, and you set yourself up for a really advantageous position. And then the kickoff goes the way it should go, and they got 15 seconds to go the length of the field. And I bet on us in those situations. So it didn't go ideal by any means.
When you say Brees is struggling, what do you mean by that?
Just he's a guy that's just proven to be such an amazing teammate this year, and his commitment to this game has gone to another place. His process has gone to another place, and he's been playing with a little bit of pain and fighting his way through that. But it's a thing that's just maybe it's not improving as much as he'd like at this point. So we'll see how it goes this week.
When you have a knee injury like that, why not just shut him down instead of just possibly letting him play later on this season?
Yeah, if there was a structural problem from the standpoint of like impacting his future with this team or his future for his career, we would definitely shut him down. And if it was in the best interest of Brees, we're not at that point right now. So we'll see how it goes.
You guys are, you've got your core guys. Speaking of Brees and Sauce and Garrett, and obviously Jermaine is hurt, but these guys have known nothing but losing since they've been here at all. Is there a danger for guys to get a little bit beaten down and broken? Garrett, after the game the other day, was talking about the losing gene. The frustration is, getting to everybody. It's human nature. But how do you avoid trying to have these guys get kind of sucked into that vortex, if you will?
Yeah, it's a challenge, for sure it is, but it's an opportunity to demonstrate your mental strength, and so we preach that on a daily basis and try to stay in the moment. And but there is a human nature element to this game, and when you've lost a lot, there is that you fight and you combat. But it's going to take this entire team, coaches, players, organization, to get the culture here turned, and that only comes with winning. It only comes with success. So that's what we have to change that mindset around here.
Do you find yourself having private conversations with guys like that? You know are going to be future of this team. I mean, I'm yourself going out of your way to try to keep these guys' heads up a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, in times like this, especially after you've been eliminated from the playoffs, you know, and really giving them the whys of why we got to keep playing, and the whys as far as changing the culture around here and being part of the solution, you know, and all those guys that you mentioned there are going to be the reason this organization does turn around, you know, but they've got to create some success to do that.
You were a guy when the season started, or leading into the season, you thought this team had the makings of a contender. Like, how is all this sitting with you? How stunned are you that you're at this point?
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure. It's maddening in a lot of ways, but and I did think that this team did, and unfortunately there was 7 contests that we came within 1 score. We didn't get it done, and that's we got to live with that, you know. But at the same time, my entirety of my focus right now is Jacksonville. You know, getting these guys ready to play their best football for the collective group, for the organization, but also for them individually, you know, in their careers.
And how surprised, disappointed, or whatever word you want to use, with the defense as good as it's been in the last couple of years, that you've given up 3 leads in the last.
Yeah,
Can you find, when you study that, with just a common denominator there to try to correct that?
Yeah, there's just moments that we have not executed like we normally do, you know, and that's unfortunate, and that it ultimately points the finger at myself, you know, that I got to get it coached better. I got to get them to execute at a higher level in those critical moments. They got to trust their training, and you got to have unconscious competence, and you know, when the season's over and we really reflect hard in those moments, we got to create a solution for them. Have to.
Jeff, you kind of got thrown in the fire a bit being a head coach for your first time. Like, now that we're pretty deep into it, like, how much have you learned about how much different it is leading the whole thing as opposed to just the defense?
Yeah, it definitely a challenge. I think there'll obviously be moments when this thing's all over where I can really reflect on what I did and what I can do better and what I did well and all those things, you know. But as of today, like, I am so in my feet, and it's Jacksonville only.
How do you balance this, the uncertainty with, you know, just you and the rest of the coaching staff with just trying to do what's best and trying to end the season out on a positive note?
Yeah, 'cause ultimately the tape is my resume, you know. So and the tape is the player's resume. The tape is who we are in this league, and because of that, you always have to go out there and you have to put good tape out, you know, whether it's trying to make a push for the playoffs or extend your career as a coach or player. So everything that you do when you cross that line is on tape, and it's what's so beautiful about this league, because there is no faking it. There is no you know, there's no hiding. It's you are who you are, you know. So we got to play our best football for all our sakes, both personally and professionally.
But how do you not just, you know, naturally just think about just, you know, maybe your future and what that looks like, you know, after this situation?
Maybe I'm fortunate that I don't go there. In all honesty, I don't. I'm just in my feet, and my job at hand is to get this group of guys ready to play, and I don't stray from that thought process. I don't. Maybe, you know, when this thing's all over with, obviously I will, and I'll have to at that point. But as of today, I'm absolutely singularly focused on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
With his son, I mean, obviously this is not the production anyone anticipated from him. Looking back, having the benefit of hindsight, do you think it was just such a long layoff for him that it was almost impossible for him to be the player he was?
You know, you might say that had I, you know, put on the tape and I saw a guy that looked rusty or slow or not explosive, you know, but everything that we thought we were getting with him, everything that we had seen on tape that made us pursue him as hard as we did, has showed up. You know, it's just, it's been a byproduct of a lot of things. Maybe, you know, just still getting familiar with what we do, so I don't think it's a physical thing so much. And then the ops, you know, like for pass rushers to get production, you need to have substantial leads, and you need to have leads throughout the game so that you can really let your rushers go. And we haven't had enough of those opportunities for him and for our entire D-line, for that matter.
On the Zoom the other day, we were talking about Jalen and, you know, all the success he's had. What was his role? What would his role have been had CJ not gotten hurt? I mean, I know, you know, he's part of the linebacking corps.
Right.
You know, it seems like he got the opportunity and he took advantage.
Yeah, he did. And who knows what that role would have been. You know, at the very least, I know he would have been our starting Sam backer, and we had a dime package for him on third down. So At the very least, he probably would have played, let's say, 75% of the defensive snaps. Obviously, because of CJ, he's been pushed into a 100% role, and he's flourished in it. You know, that's one of the best games I've seen a linebacker play in a long time. This game against Miami, he spoke to the team the night before the game and gave an impassioned speech about what he was going to get accomplished the next day, and he did exactly what he said he was going to do. I mean, 18 tackles against a team like that, playing from red line to red line in the run game and protecting our digs and then protecting checkdowns and screens, and all that he did and got accomplished this game was pretty special. Just a really cool moment for a kid that's worked really hard to get where he's at.
Last right here, still had 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Just how, I don't want to put a word in your mouth, but what's your feeling on that? I mean, is it frustration? Is it relief?
It is, yeah, a little bit of displeasure for sure. But it goes back to a little bit of the Hassan question regarding turnovers, especially interceptions, are a byproduct of operating with some leads. A lot of times they are, when quarterbacks really feel like 2 things. They got to throw the ball at a higher frequency for 1, and 2, they really got to press the ball down the field to make something shake because they got to get back into a game. When that happens, you know, quarterbacks take chances that they wouldn't take otherwise. So we haven't put opposing quarterbacks in that situation enough this year, you know. And at the same time, we've missed some ops, and at the same time, there's always an opportunity for me to call maybe, let's say, a little bit more zone to get zone eyes in those opportune times to get the ball. But it's a little bit of combination of all those things. But I'm not happy for sure about that.